Good evening, Leroy. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm
And I'm
okay.
just
How are
and I'm
you?
just I'm distracted. I'm distracted because my Kentucky Wildcats are in overtime right now. I know last week we were talking about
Oh,
that, and they're losing. Great, awesome. This is fantastic. They just had they were had a chance to. Oh, okay, we're back. Okay, we're good. They had a chance. They are up to. They get fouled. They go to the free throw line with about 5 seconds left. That would have, you hit both of your free throws, you win. And
yep,
I'm not. I'm
yep.
not. We're not. We're not going to get mad about college basketball. How about that? You won't get mad, and I won't get mad, right?
No guarantees. No guarantees. That's a
You okay?
yep. We'll talk about it. We'll talk
You
about.
okay?
We'll wait till your game's done, and then we'll talk about it. What is there like 3 minutes left?
3:32 left in overtime. Kentucky
That
and
means
Florida
there's
are
like
tied at
that means there's like
35,
15
35
minutes.
minutes. 35
15
minutes probably.
minutes.
This is
35
this is
minutes
the
left. Right.
SEC. This is the SEC.
Yeah.
Remember that there's probably going to be at least 45 fouls and so on. And it's great. So I've got my TV that I can kind of see, but I can't see it from my desk, so I actually have to scoot back. I will want to say too, as we begin this, and plus because we're talking about Kentucky, it's apropos. Begin the show on just a little bit of a lighter note. I know we did it in my Bengals podcast as well, but I got to do it here. I'm going to crack open this. We lost our good buddy Dave Miracle from the Sports Jungle. His favorite drink was Twisted Tea. So to Dave Miracle, who passed away last week in his mid 40s, leaves behind 2 kids. Great friend of ours, big Bengals fan, big Kentucky fan. To him, cheers. And that's how we're doing. That's our logos out for today, in honor of Dave Miracle, a great man, lost way too soon. Way too soon.
To you, Miracle. This one's for you, bud. We miss you.
And that's his go-to. He loves Twisted Teas, but really I know from him too, it would be anything cold. And he would be wanting us to drink probably more of these right now if Kentucky ends up losing this game. So, and I know that's exactly what he would have been wanting me to say in this scenario. But to Miracle, we miss you, bud. And to his family too. I can't imagine what they're going through. But it's been a busy week, Leroy. But
oh my gosh, dude, let's get to it. It has been a.
How about let's?
I got a laundry list of things to talk about.
How about you want to recap the pick contest? Because I think recapping the pick contest would be a good way to talk about conference championships really quick. Is that good?
That's fine.
Okay, we could just do that really quick because honestly, our pick contest recapping is very quick because there were only 3 total points this week for both of us. Leroy, you got 1 point, and I got 2 points. So, Leroy, you correctly predicted the Cougs to beat Edmonson County. They were winning 15-0 early on in that game, ended up cruising and winning that game. I was I was that close, and I did correctly predict Lincoln to beat Taylorville. I mean, play here, play there, right, Leroy? I mean, one shot made here, and they'd have been in it, right?
Listen, I think Taylorville.
I watched for 2 minutes, and I said, I think I messaged you and said, I've heard enough.
Taylorville could have played Lincoln 100 times, and they might win once. I'm telling you, it was.
Would Lincoln have had the flu that game?
Taylorville hung with them for the first quarter, and then Lincoln scored 14 points. I'm not exaggerating. 14 points in a minute 31. And it was like, bro. And they never looked back. And I've never seen, listen, Taylorville's 21-6. We won the Apollo Conference. I mean, we're conference champions. And I'm telling you, it looked like a bunch of college players playing against 8th graders. That's what it looked like.
Well, see, what's interesting is the Grayson County game, it started with something that I think I've only had once prior in my basketball career broadcasting. And it was that Grayson County was winning 2-0 without any time coming off the clock. And it was because Edmonson County didn't have their starters in the scorebook by the 10-minute mark, which is
that's a
foul.
huge yes.
And I'm just like, of all games, like you're doing this and I know we've talked about this on this pod before, but it's like that's the biggest game of the year. And well, I guess other than when they play in the tournament here in a couple of weeks, but like Coach got a technical later on in the game. And Leroy, I've been meaning to go back in, and I was interested when he got that technical. I was like, is that an ejection? And he didn't get ejected because I was curious. I was like, is that because it's a technical on the bench?
Right.
And does he then eat that? He didn't, which I just found very interesting when it happened. I was like, that's a rule I don't know. And I've been meaning to go up and look it up. And if I was good at my job, I would have gone in and looked at that. But still, it was interesting.
No, I think there's a tier on that. I think it starts off with like a technical, and then because usually most of the time, other than that, you get a sit down warning, and then an ejection, or then a technical, and then the
it was a technical. It was two technicals because it's a technical. Yeah,
because he violated. It just goes straight to technical. But I don't know. I don't think you get ejected for that unless it happens twice.
But it can't happen twice because you can only mess up the book once. But
yeah.
Still, but no, that it's just that though is the reasoning as to why I was interested as to why it didn't happen. But it was just very interesting to see. We both missed the Ravens. We went with the Ravens because we're idiots.
Yep.
And Leroy, you were the homer and picked the Lions. I picked the 49ers. For a while, it looked like you were good. And then the 49ers came out of nowhere to pick up the win. I think the takeaways from that are, Leroy, in the AFC is don't bet against Mahomes unless he's playing Burrow or Brady. And in the NFC is gambling sometimes doesn't pay off.
Listen, and I've gone back and forth on this. I'm in a group with a bunch of Lions fans, with a lot of people that live in Michigan.
Nope, I'm not putting that. Christy, why'd you make me put that comment on the screen?
You jumped on that. But no, it's one of those things where, like, I don't mind gambling in the regular season. The playoffs are a completely different beast. When they went for it, was it 4th and 3 that they went for it? And everybody was saying, well, no, it was the play where the ball bounced off his head. But I think everything changed off that 4th and 3. It's one of those things where when you look at that game and you look at how things were progressing, and once again, the Lions have played horrible in the third quarter all season long. They've had the same problem the Bears have, where they can't make those halftime adjustments. Now, the Lions are a much better team, so they haven't had it hurt them as bad as Chicago has. Detroit's a much better football team than Chicago is. Because of that, they've been able to recover a little bit easier than that, much like the Bengals would recover if Burrow was out there as opposed to not having Joe out there. But it's one of those things where I don't like that gamble in the playoffs. You've got a team that hasn't been there a whole lot, and you've got a huge lead. You got greedy, and you paid the price for it.
Sorry, Kentucky hasn't scored in 3 minutes, and they're losing by 2. 1 minute to go. I'm getting grumpy now, Leroy. Here,
listen. You just say the
we're
word.
waiting. They might win. They might win. Kentucky has two players that aren't playing today too, so we're not.
But what do you think about that? Are you a gambler in that situation? I'm not a big fan of.
I love the line by former University of Kentucky offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson, and he was offensive coordinator for 1 year back in like 2013, 2014, and he had a line after a game. And I'll never forget it, where they asked him, called a trick play. I don't remember as to what it was, but it was a call that was asked about after the game.
Yeah.
And he looked at the media and said, if it would have worked, you would have liked it.
Right. And if the Lions make that, we love them.
Oh, and you're saying Dan Campbell is a genius. Look at him. But he also, you can't fault him in the realm of he did what got them to that point.
Right.
And he stuck to it
doing all season long.
And that deserves a lot of props for that. And I think in the other game, you can't bet against Mahomes. But then, and I'm going to say it, and I've said this for a long time. Gosh, they're going to lose, Leroy. They're down 4 now, and they just missed a shot. Gosh,
I got it on my agenda of things to talk about tonight. Just say the word, and I'll go.
Lamar Jackson is the most overrated elite quarterback in the NFL. And I think it's fact. The man never comes up when the moment gets biggest. You look at all of his playoff games. He has never come through. But then also, teams like the Ravens are not sustainable to win titles in the realm. They're trending more in the direction of being that way. We just talked about this on my Bengals podcast about it. And here's the reason why. To win a title in the NFL today, you have to be able to pass the ball at a high efficiency. You have to. Who's been the best team in the NFL over the last 5 years?
Chiefs.
What are they the best at?
Passing.
Like there's no secret.
Although they haven't been good this year.
Who has been one of the other best teams in the AFC over these past couple of seasons?
Y'all.
The Bengals. What are the Bengals the best at? Passing the football. This is not rocket science. That is such a key, because you look at the AFC North, just as an example for the Bengals, is the Bengals are not an AFC North team right now. And Forrest, I think, can even agree to this as a Steeler fan. Is the AFC North has always been this, it's a rock fight. We're going to take you out, and whatever man is big enough wins in the end. But I don't know that wins in today's NFL.
For what it's worth, the NFC North is very much that way too.
Yeah, it's something about the North. I mean, the AFC North is a brutal division. And I mean, the NFC North has had, it's had a couple of down years. I think it's probably safe to say, I think even you can agree that it's not necessary, but it's had some really solid years where the AFC North is up on one of their top. It is just very, very interesting to see how it will go. And I mean, Lamar makes big mistakes when the moments get biggest. I think back to a game against Kentucky in 2017 where they were driving in the red zone at home as a top 10 team against a marginal Kentucky team, and he fumbled the ball. And Kentucky fans still make the joke that Lamar fumbled. They're losing by 5. Oh, they just missed a 3. Oh, okay.
Well, and I'll say, we have yet to see a quarterback who runs well win the Super Bowl.
No, I mean it's
give me a quarterback who runs well who's won the Super Bowl.
No, I mean there's not one that comes to mind, at least off the top of my.
I mean, if we look,
I think you could see, but even like a guy like Josh Allen, like he's not won the big game either. Now I don't think Josh Allen deserves blame, obviously, because Mahomes, I don't count Mahomes in the realm of he is not a runner.
No.
He's a great athlete. And that's where I think I just disagree.
Let's take a look at these. Let's take a look at these Super Bowl teams from before. Okay.
We can talk about last year's. We can skip the year before last. Everybody knows what happened. We don't need to talk about it.
Chiefs beat the Eagles, right?
Okay. And then we can go to the
Hurts.
Bucks.
Hold on, we'll get there. I'll skip your stupid little Bengals game because you don't want to relive that hurt again. But let's talk about this, okay? Chiefs beat the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, a runner, right?
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is a runner.
Yeah. Not quite as much as Lamar, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Josh Allen, I think, is a top-tier quarterback. I do. I think he's really good.
Super Bowl before that, the Bucks play the Chiefs. Okay. Who is quarterback for the Bucks?
The greatest athlete in the history of the NFL, Thomas Wayne Brady. Is his middle name Wayne? I have no idea.
All right. Chiefs beat the 49ers the year prior. Okay. That was in 2020. Was that Mahomes' first season?
So that was Chiefs and 49ers, right?
Yeah.
And that was Garoppolo. So Garoppolo against Mahomes.
Okay.
Neither one of those quarterbacks were elite athletes.
2019, Patriots versus the Rams.
That's Goff against Brady.
Yep.
Again, yeah. So I mean,
we can keep going and looking at all of these. And I'm telling, and listen, football's changed a lot in the last 10 years. Teams that played in 2015, it's a different style than what it is now. But the message is still the same, and that is.
I got to close my door, Leroy. I'm listening. Oh wait, never mind. Where they drawing me back in? They just hit a three.
Oh.
Okay.
Just when they pull me out, I'm back in, baby.
Okay, keep going.
No, but you can look at those and really, yeah, there has not been a running quarterback to win the Super Bowl yet. Yeah. I think that's the whole bottom line of this whole thing.
Yeah, and I agree perfectly with what Daniel said. This was the Ravens' year.
Yes, and
everything
set up. Game plan.
Everything set up for them. I mean, and listen, and this is not me just tooting the horn of the Bengals, but you look at it. Bengals lose their starting quarterback out for the season. Browns lose their starting quarterback. I really don't think that was that big of a deal, but still, you look at that. Miami, ton of injuries. Kansas City, not been as great this year. I mean, it's set up for them, and they never, and this was the year if they were going to do it. I mean, heck, you can even say Rodgers. Rodgers went down. Is that Jets team that much better with him?
Listen, I will fight that Jets team wouldn't have done a thing this year. Even if Rodgers was healthy, I don't think that Jets team is going to do anything this year.
Okay, wait a second. My stat sheet's up at 5 seconds, and Kentucky just got a steal. What happened? Updated stat sheet. 5 seconds. I don't like that. Down 4 though. Oh, they missed a 3.
You're so cute.
They missed a 3. Okay, we lost. Oh, that hurts. Kentucky loses. My goodness. Oh, wait a second. No, they fouled him, Leroy. They fouled him. Oh my goodness. Is that 3 free throws? No, 2 free throws. Okay, sorry. We're getting very much. I agree that the Jets would a lot better. We're getting distracted.
Jets gonna jet.
Are you excited? We'll talk more about the Super Bowl next week, but just in the realm of, are you excited? Or do you care? That's kind of how I feel.
I wasn't even that excited about the AFC NFC championship games. I mean, listen, I was pulling hard for the Lions. So I'd love to have I know a lot of Lions. I grew up in Michigan a little bit. I have a lot of friends who are Lions fans. They've been through a lot. But really, that was what I was looking forward to. This is going to be the Mahomes is amazing Super Bowl. So I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily know if you talk about, people talk about the NFL being rigged. I promise you, the NFL did not want the Chiefs 49ers in this game. They would have been fine with like the Chiefs Lions because you got people excited. No one wants to see a rematch from last year. We already saw this game
from 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, who did? Wait,
Eagles.
We just talked about
Eagles.
That's right. Yeah,
Eagles last year. Yeah. And here's the first Swift mention from Daniel. If you had that on your bingo card, there it comes, the 1830 mark. Taylor Swift. We made it this long.
Show me where Taylor Swift hurts you, man. It's okay.
That
girl is out there supporting her boyfriend. I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw an article today, too, that apparently America says that Travis Kelce is the person they want most as their neighbor. Like, why? Why? I don't know. Okay. We're not getting down that road, Leroy. We're going to have happy thoughts because Kentucky has the ball with a free throw coming down 3 with 2 seconds left. So that means that we're going to have to miss a free throw, kick it out, hit a 3. Got this, right?
Sure.
We're in a timeout. We got this. Really quick, just because I really do kind of want to laugh about this for about 45 seconds, then we'll get to which you have baseball.
Yeah.
How excited on a scale of 10 to 10? Oh, okay. They lost.
It's the 4th time now that he said that they have lost, by the way. We're keeping track at home. He's got to shut the door now.
Slam the door. And now I just threw my stapler across the room, too, on accident.
Well, listen, what Sam's going
How excited are you, though, for the Pro Bowl? On a scale of 10 to 10. The Pro Bowl on Sunday.
10 out of 10? 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10? 10, yeah.
Honestly, will you watch a second of the Pro Bowl?
Not a second of it. I'll watch the NHL All-Star Game. I'm excited for the NHL All-Star Game. They've got the skills competition that's back, and, man, I'm excited tonight. Or I'm excited for the Pro Bowl, yeah. Not the Pro Bowl. No, the hockey All-Star. I'm not going to watch a second of the Pro Bowl. I'm excited for the NHL All-Star Game. That's what I'm excited for. Are you going to watch the Pro Bowl?
No, I have center games that afternoon.
Do you?
Last year, I remember it was one of those things that this Sunday was one of those days where I was doing a lot of chores and I had it on in the background. And I think there was one moment where they were doing some game and I had to stop and go, what are they doing? Like, well, and I don't even remember what it was, but it was so absurd that I was like, okay, you've caught my interest enough that I'm going to have to at least watch this up. Daniel, from what I understand, they're drafting teams, Team Peyton and Team Eli.
Yeah, it works so well for the NHL and the NBA that they've decided to do it in the NFL as well.
Okay, Leroy, you had something about baseball. There we go. We've checked that.
We checked that box. You checked that box. You're gonna let me.
I don't think we really need more.
You're gonna let me talk about my college basketball team tonight, aren't you? Because I need to get that off my chest.
I'm sad. Can I have at least like 5 minutes of sadness?
You can have your 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna vent. I promise you. It's ridiculous.
46, Leroy.
46-8. Anyway.
Hey. Take a deep breath. Take a drink of your drink.
Anyway.
WWMD. What would Miracle do right now?
Watch adult movies and take a drink. Okay.
And look at a meme.
Let's go ahead and do this. So I have questions for you. There was and you might have seen this stat, and if so, this makes this conversation moot. But who has been the biggest killer for your baseball team? Have you seen this stat?
I already know who you're going to talk about, and we're not mentioning his name on this podcast. I already saw this.
We are, because we're going to talk about the other guy who is a absolute NL Central killer. And I couldn't believe his name was this much on the list.
Paul, we're drinking Twisted Teas in honor of Miracle tonight because that was his favorite beer. So he's asking. Yeah, I know you were a few minutes late today. So we're drinking that in honor of him today. So you're talking about the home run. Are you talking about the home runs?
Yeah, Joey Votto has the most home runs against all of these teams in the NL Central. It's insane.
Except the Pirates. And
Right.
what's wild is in his career, he's only had like 10 home runs against the Pirates. Like, it is a wild statistic as far as he's had this like, he's killed the Cardinals, killed the Brewers, killed the Cubs, but the Pirates have somehow had a good numbers against him.
36 against the Cardinals, 50 against the Cubs. He's also on here against the Brewers, where he had 43. And yet, when it comes to the Pirates...
Wait, let's read this comment, Leroy, really quick, from Paul Reeves. Listening to his other buddy's podcast. Okay, then.
All right. I see that.
Remember that.
That's fine. And then Anthony Rizzo leads against the Pirates and the Reds with 30 against the Pirates and then 36 against the Reds. So when you look at this, I just find it. But between Votto and Judge, they're both on this list like a ton. And I was low key shocked to see how many times Joey Votto was on this list, because like I just think of Joey as a hitter. I don't necessarily think of him as a home run hitter. I just think of him always getting on base.
Yeah, I mean, he has in his career 356 career home runs. And it's I'm trying to find out the stat here of him against the Pirates, because it is a wild statistic here. I'm looking up on Baseball Reference as we talk, but he's always killed the Cubs. Always killed the Cubs. You know that as well as anybody.
Yeah.
And just like he who must not be named has always had really good careers against the Reds.
His name is Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo.
See, that's what I like, is that I have the ability to mute your microphone so we're not talking about him.
It's the best.
Votto? Yes, I know Votto is the best. I'm glad you finally admit that it's really good to see.
With Paul, though, I always thought of him as a guy that just got on base, a very, very good hitter. When I think of power hitters, I don't necessarily know if Votto's the guy that I go to, but clearly he is, because I'm telling you, like, he hits the ball super, super well.
Votto's always been the guy that is pretty much the same person, Daniel. The guy that I was talking about, and I mean, they're pretty much the same thing as Voldemort. He hates children too. It's a fun fact. Both Voldemort and the guy we're talking about. But Votto is I look forward to that he gets into the Hall of Fame, and it is going to hurt if he gets a, because like the Reds came out last week and pretty much said, "Yep, we're not re-signing him," and it was like that was one of those. It was like, oh, like you get it, but it's like, oh, like if Joey Votto signs with the Dodgers or something, like it's gonna be so weird to see him in a different uniform. And it'll just go down as those guys, like Jordan is a Wizard.
Yep.
Like just those
Weird.
guys, Junior as a White Sox. Like it's just those really weird guys, who play just a cup of tea with other teams.
What baseball stadium is closest to a Chili's, and what stadium is farthest from a Chili's?
I saw this stat earlier. So, Paul, you'll appreciate this. Now, Leroy gave me a couple of years ago. It's an autographed Joey Votto card here. I don't know that it's going to show very well. And it has a piece of, I think it's his bat. Is it not, Leroy?
Yep.
A piece of his bat in here. I know you will appreciate that, Paul, being the card guy that you are.
Tell me about the other card I gave you, too.
You know is it this one?
Yeah.
You know what that You know what that is. You know what that is. That's an inside joke.
I do.
I'm sure he's watching. JJ Hoover. Yeah. Braves legend. I think he was a Brave for one part.
Braves legend.
I think JJ Hoover had like 3 games with the Braves. I think he did. Paul, am I wrong on that? I could be just completely making that up, but I think he did. And I actually think he went and was not bad. It is not a finger. No, he never did. I made that up. Diamondbacks and Brewers. Not the first time I've made something up on this podcast, Leroy. Won't be the last either.
Won't be the last.
Apparently, he's a pitching coach.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
That usually makes sense. That Where is he a pitching coach? Okay, I got to find out, where is he? It just says on here. I love it. I bet you he just edited his profile here on Wikipedia that says he is a former baseball pitcher and a pitching coach, because it doesn't say where he's a pitching coach. If he just edited it and he's like the pitching coach of his son's like 8U team, not even the head coach of it, he's the pitching coach.
Paul, do you know the answer to this question? What baseball stadium is closest to a Chili's, and what baseball stadium is farthest from a Chili's?
So I saw this, but I only processed that GABP was like 13 miles away. Is like what, like middle of the pack,
12.
Isn't it?
They're 24th.
Okay.
They're 12 miles away.
I'm going to guess the closest is.
You got to think about like stadiums that are like downtown.
Yeah, but are Chili's usually downtown?
No, but I'm just like, I don't know.
I'm going to say Yankee Stadium is number 1.
By the way, Atlanta is 18th. They are 8.8 miles away from one. What did you say, Sam?
Is Yankee Stadium at the top of the list?
Yankees is not. Yankee Stadium is actually 28th. 14
really? I knew it would be one or the other. Is Wrigley?
No, Wrigley is 17th, right in front of Atlanta. They're 8.2
okay, give us
away.
How close. How close is the closest?
1 mile. And they play in this team plays in the American League.
Minnesota Twins.
See, Twins was what I thought, because they're right downtown in St. Paul. It's not. Twins are 13th, 6.8
Boston? Daniel asks Boston.
Oh, Daniel
Seattle?
says Boston. Seattle's actually the farthest. They are 279 miles away from the Chili's.
Wow. Blue Jays.
Closest is Progressive Field, where the Guardians play. The Guardians are 1 mile away.
Interesting.
Yep. It goes Progressive, then Angel Stadium, Guardians, Angels, Brewers, Rangers, Phillies, Marlins, Astros, Mets, Rockies, and then Rays. Those are your top 10. And then the other stat that I wanted to give you tonight is they have the worst season by a player for every team since 2000. Okay? So,
oh gosh. What is the definition for a worst season?
WAR.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I agree with Paul. Who wanted to know this info and made a spreadsheet?
It popped up on me. It popped up on my Reddit today, and I was like, "That's good enough for my podcast tonight." So that's why we talked about it. So the question is now, from 2000, which player on your team had the worst WAR, wins above replacement?
Gosh.
The Cubs was Kyle Farnsworth in 2002 with a negative 2.5.
Can you give me a year for the Reds?
I will give you a year for the Reds. It was also 2002.
Ooh, now see, that's where I was 5, so that's where I'd struggle. I would really struggle. Is it a offensive or a pitcher?
I think he's a pitcher, if I remember right. I think he's a pitcher that you and I have had conversations about before.
Is it Danny Graves? He had a really rough year there in the turn of the century. Yeah, what year was the Braves? Paul wants to know.
I'm looking right now. Braves was 2010, and I have never heard of this player. For the
I guarantee you,
Braves.
Paul.
I'm sure Paul has.
Now that you said 2010, is it Danny Graves for 2002 Reds?
No.
Okay. Give me, who is it? I probably won't come up with it.
Alfredo Simon.
He was on the 2002 Reds?
Yup.
Alfredo? No, he wasn't. Alfredo Simon was on the Reds and was he on a Reds more than once?
Hold on, that's not right. Give me a
no,
second.
Yeah, he was on the Reds from 2012 to 2014. Yeah, unless there's another Alfredo Simon. Yeah, no, that's incorrect.
Yeah, that's what I agree with you. But it literally has 2000.
No, I mean I'm looking it up too. That's not correct.
Well, I apologize. They've got their stuff wrong on here, man. That's
Leroy Klamola, you are fake news.
I'm going to send this. I'm going to send this to you. This is crazy. Holy crap! That's what I get for trying to like have stats and stuff all put together, man. What a joke. By the way, Nate McLouth was the Braves guy.
I know that. I've heard that name.
I'm really, really disappointed.
Fake news. You know, we try to make this podcast about facts. You know that, right?
Yeah. Shut up.
Okay, now I got to pull this up here. Yeah, because that's not correct.
Chris Davis, by the way, had the worst WAR, negative 3.3. The best player or the worst player, Carlos Carrasco, who had a negative 1.3 for the Mets.
I'm looking at this right now. Interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to lead you astray. It's what it told me.
Yeah, because Alfredo Simon.
You and I had conversations about Alfredo Simon.
Simone. If you're going to, that's really interesting. Though I don't know. I'm looking at some of the names on this list. Chris Davis. Yeah, talk about a guy that fell off the face of the earth. Poor Adam Dunn being on this list too. Poor Adam Dunn. Roy Halladay, a Hall of Famer. Is he the only Hall of Famer? I'm looking right here on this list. It appears so. At first glance, yes, he's the only Hall of Famer on that list. And the only one that will be in the
Hideo Nomo.
He was good for a couple of years. Yeah. He had a really good. Yep, Nate McLouth. Daniel just shouts out Poutine to let us know that the Canadian is still watching.
Hey, Zed.
You also messaged me earlier today, and you said, I got to talk about NASCAR.
Yes. So, listen, it's not even about NASCAR. It's about racing. And this is the time where you guys can go up and get some popcorn, go to the bathroom, because I'm going to vent for a second. But F1.
Do I need to do this? Oh, why is it so big? Why is it so big? My goodness.
No, so F1 basically is playing jerks. The Michael Andretti, who's a huge former IndyCar driver, he now owns the IndyCar team, got all of his ducks in a row to get a team in F1. F1 currently has 3 races in the United States, but there's only one driver from America that's racing in F1. And they said, okay, look, you do all of this stuff, we'll get you in. Okay? So Michael Andretti checks all the boxes, goes out of his way to do everything that he's supposed to do, gets everything lined up, everything signed, and presents it to F1, and F1 says, no, we don't want you. And Andretti's like, why? We did everything you asked us to do. And they said, nope, we don't think you're going to be competitive enough, and we basically don't want you. We'll let you try again, though, in 2028. And it's crazy to me because F1, the season was over with 6 races to go. They already knew who the champion was going to be with 6 races left. And you're going to talk about him not being competitive enough? Holy cow, you had one driver that won 90% of your races. It blows my mind, the elite good old boys club sitting there and just decided not to. All that money, all that time, all of that effort, all that energy, and they just be like, nope, we're not doing it. Just needed to vent. I thought it was stupid, and I'm really, really annoyed by it.
Feel better now?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Now, did you want to talk about 46?
Yes, I want to talk about freaking 46. Would you like to say anything about Kentucky first, since I already ranted for 5 minutes?
I mean, isn't that what this podcast is? It's just you to rant about things? And me to sit here going.
Chris Collins was ejected from the game today with 1.6 seconds left.
I thought you were about to say Chris Collinsworth. I was like, now that would be interesting. Like Chris Collins were sitting courtside.
Mind you, as he gets ejected, they're not going in circles. It's you make left turns and right turns in that race. Anyway.
But I mean, it is technically like.
So Collins gets ejected from the game, still manages to walk over and shake hands with Matt Painter as he's leaving the floor. He goes over, he says, good game, shakes his hand as he walks out. But listen to these stupid stats from this game.
John Calipari has a really good moment of when he got ejected once that he got so mad that his shirt came halfway untucked. So you got to think that, Cal's always, in his like 3-piece, not a 3-piece, but a nice Italian suit. So he's one half of his shirt length coming out, and he just walks off. His hair's like all messed up because he was so mad, just buttons his jacket and walks off and just stares, and like half his shirt is falling out. It's just a really funny picture.
So Northwestern shot 6 for 8 from the free throw line tonight against Purdue in a 105-96 loss that was actually 101-96 before Collins' ejection. Purdue, 29 for 46. 29 for 46 from the free throw line. Fouls, Northwestern at 29, Purdue at 15. I'm sorry, that's a bigger joke than Turin right there. That's a bigger joke than Dan. 29 to 15.
How many did Edie shoot?
Probably quite a few, to be honest with you. Hold on, let me look. Edie had 30 points, 15 rebounds. It doesn't have what he had listed for fouls on here. Hold on. Let me see if ESPN has it up.
Glad you came prepared today. Great job.
I had Yahoo up. What do you want from me?
Who uses Yahoo for sports information?
I dislike you tonight, Sam.
You use Yahoo?
No, I just popped it up.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, my goodness. Wow. You've hurt his feelings, Leroy.
I don't care. He's been talking trash about racing. What did he expect me to do?
I'll just put up all of his.
Zach Edey was 8 for 17 from the free throw line. And there was one play where Northwestern guy had his hands like straight up in the air, and they still called the foul on him. And he's like, what do I have to do? But at the end, when Collins got ejected, he had him all hooked up and had his arm all through him. It just, I get tired of, I mean, that racing was, the officiating was horrible. I mean, think about if you guys were playing Tennessee and the free throw
Saturday.
The free throw definitely.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm more just along for the ride here in this conversation.
I am just so tired of officials in all sports just being able to. There's no repercussions for their games.
We'll see. What's funny is I did a Cougar game last night, basketball. We were at Meade County, which is just about an hour to the north, and Grayson County lost. I think it was by 5, 76-71, something like that. And after the game, the other team's radio guy comes up and he goes, "Hey, I'm going to be honest with you." And I know this guy, but not really. He goes, "Y'all got shafted tonight." And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, I keep a tally mark on bad calls on both teams. You all had 8. And see, the funny thing is I was like, I didn't think it was like I didn't think it was that, like, there were a couple of calls, but it's these guys are making what, $50 a game.
Like high school's high school.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I'm not, it was more just funny to me that this other guy was like, yeah, you 8 of them.
I get it at the high school level, and I get it even at I don't know. Those guys get, especially at the professional levels, it feels like over the last couple of years, the officiating has gone really downhill.
And here's my question for that. And honestly, I don't know the answer to this because it's something I've thought about. Has it gone downhill, or do we just have more access to more cameras, which give us more of an ability to break everything down?
Yeah.
And that's a legitimate. We're now in 4K cameras. We can see, because you've reffed. It's not easy.
No, and listen, I've reffed high school basketball. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Is reffing high school basketball.
I would have killed to have been in the student section for a game you did.
Shut up. I did.
What's the best thing you ever heard a student section tell you? Do you have one that comes to mind?
Thank you, midget was a chant that went for a while.
They chanted that? Yeah,
thank you, midget. So that's probably the best one that I got. I don't know. It just and guys, you guys in the comment section, you guys watch a lot of sports. It just feels that
and I don't know the answer to that. And I mean, Forrest is probably, I think it's a little bit of both. And that's kind of the interesting part about that. He called every track.
Well, I talked last week. If you guys all listened to the podcast last week, I talked about how I get tired of every player when they do commit when they get whistled, of sitting there going, "What I do? Like, that gets really old, also.
Okay, why are we talking politics now in the comments? Let's not. We don't talk politics on this show, except for Kentucky state legislatures that try to legalize getting with our cousins. That's the only thing we're allowed to talk about on this show.
Miracle does not approve.
No, he would not. You know what Miracle would want, though, Leroy?
What?
To cue the music. Because it's everyone's favorite segment, Leroy's Logos. Oh, and now we got, I don't know that we want that. I don't know that we want that.
Absolutely.
I don't think your wife would want that, though, Leroy, if we're being honest. I feel like your wife would vote against you because she probably just wouldn't want you to be president. Would she vote against you?
Oh, my gosh. Do I have a great off my chest tonight? Oh, my goodness.
Gosh, you're fired up today. Did you not get a lot of sleep last night?
I did not.
I was going to say, you're
No, we won the conference championship last night, so I went out and celebrated. And by celebrate, I went home.
Where did you? What is celebration. Yeah, imagine fingers showing up on his screen in the White House. Hey. Now, that is true, Paul. It's hard to be much worse when it comes to that. Leroy, you're hitting 391.
No, you were on that team too, Gormley.
I was your stats guy. Remember, I didn't coach. I was your stats guy. Do I need to pull the stats up again? I can Google it right here and find them.
Give me a logo.
You're hitting 391. You're taking door number 3 again. It's simple. I have 3 colleges. Leroy's got to tell me what the college is and what the logo and then the theme. It's easy. Number 3, Leroy. Oh, come on. You got this one. The comment section.
The logo looks really familiar, but I thought it was a red logo.
I don't know that I want to be his vice president. I just love if you'd become president, Leroy, to continue this podcast from the Oval Office every week with your tea.
I will go.
You actually probably be able to get a sponsor.
Oh, that's true. I'll go with New Mexico.
Really?
Yeah.
Does this make you feel better? Or not?
See, but I thought their logo was red.
So you're going to stick with
like it.
That is incorrect.
On that, man.
Incorrect. Sorry, I had to turn it off so it didn't repeat. Yeah. It is Nevada. The Nevada Wolf Pack.
Dang it, man.
The Nevada Wolf Pack. Forrest, as always, picks that up. Leroy, 1 or 2?
Forrest is a beast. 1.
Now, I had to do some Photoshop on this one. I will tell you that. I almost just clicked Forrest's answer, which is correct.
Damn, that's messed up, dude. Man. Wow.
I almost didn't put it on the screen, but I wanted to break your thought process.
Liberty? It's not
Liberty is his guess. You sure you don't want to go with John's guess here?
The Canada losers.
Liberty is your guess, and Leroy, guess what?
These are hard this week, man.
You are...
These are hard, man.
Incorrect. This is Louisiana Monroe from the Sun Belt Conference.
Gosh, Forrest is a beast, man.
Forrest picks up that one. And Leroy, you ready for your final one, which might be, if I'm doing the Mount Rushmore of favorite logos in college sports, this one is on it. And I'm even nice.
It's a camel, John.
I almost did it again. My goodness. I'm slacking over here.
I have never seen this before in my life. I'll go with Central since Sam's a Central dude. It's got the C on there. I'll go with Central.
That is.
That's not any logo I've ever seen in my life.
Incorrect. But you know who has seen that logo?
Forrest, but that doesn't count.
The Campbell Camels.
What the heck school even is that?
They're in the Big South.
Great.
Conference.
Who cares?
All righty, Leroy. Louisiana Monroe, Campbell, Nevada. What is the theme? And because I'm a nice guy, Leroy.
Oh, yeah, nice guy.
Because I'm a nice guy, you guessed this is a theme maybe about 6 weeks ago. And I like that theme, Leroy. Make a mental note of it and maybe use it in 6 weeks or so. So I made a mental note on my little spreadsheet in 6 weeks. Probably been 6 weeks. I don't know if that helps you or not, but the person who's to blame for the theme is you because you suggested it.
Yes.
And so now the question is do you have a memory?
Bro, I can't even remember what I did yesterday, okay?
There's Paul's guess. I'll put the comments up if anybody has a guess to help you out here to hope you don't is it a mental note if you wrote it down? Touche, Dan. Touche. I made a mental note to write it down. And
hold
that's
on.
hard enough.
Let's think about this.
Okay, so again, Louisiana Monroe, Nevada. Honestly, Leroy, this is not going to help you. It is accurate to the theme, but it's not going to help you.
So I really need to focus on Louisiana, Monroe, and Nevada.
Yes, you should.
I mean, that's not even that hard of a challenge.
That would be, for us to be exact, at 96 schools.
Listen, I'm way better now than when I was in college the first time, Sam.
You were. Theme's a little challenging, but gosh, do I really? Okay, you know what? I'll leave it up in the comment section. Does Leroy deserve another hint or not? We'll let them vote. Yes or no comment. Yes or no. Comment that right now. And we will see whether they vote to see if you deserve another hint. And for the hint, I will end up pulling up a logo that would have worked for today's episode.
They're all logos that are facing
from the
right.
Pressbox Leroy's. Well, then the logo that I was going to be giving you would not be accurate anymore. Here, I'm pulling it up. I'm in the other tab.
Okay.
So, okay. Let's see. Okay. They're saying yes. Oh my goodness. My computer's okay. So they're saying you deserve a hint. He had a rough night. He did get the Looney Tunes theme correct that one day. Okay, Leroy. This logo would also be accurate for this week's episode of From the Pressbox. It's loading right now. It just takes its sweet time.
Oh. They're all teams that lost.
Do you know this logo?
I do.
Do you know this logo?
I do. They lost to Purdue tonight in a stupid basketball game.
Okay. I don't know that I can help you much more than this, but you got to think about what might have happened. And that's all it's not this. Good. They didn't. All teams who lost to Purdue. Hey, now they're just being mean. Now they're just being mean. Now they're just being mean, Leroy.
We beat Purdue too, so thank you very much. They've all made the NCAA tournament one time.
All teams hired new football coaches this year. And that was a suggestion given by you a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry. I tried. The Northwestern one was the one that I was hoping that would give it to you.
Yep.
But I told you this one would have not helped you. I had to throw one in there that was a little bit challenging because take a swig of the tea. Oh, it'd been gosh, you'd had a nice little stretch there. 7 straight weeks scoring at least a point. 381.
That was rough tonight, man. That was rough tonight.
Next week, I've already said it. I have a feeling you're gonna do a little bit better. I could have. Would that have helped you if I would have put up like the Patriots logo?
I was not going in that direction. I was.
Well, but if I'd have thrown up like the Patriots logo, you'd have.
I was thinking basketball.
Now, what's interesting is that, and I meant to bring this up earlier.
I'm telling you, you are on it tonight, Daniel. Stop it.
The pick contest. I meant to bring this up to you, Leroy. If the pick contest would have started in November, we would be tied right now, 66-66.
That's crazy. Wait, how did I start it, Dan?
If it would have started in November, I would be winning 89-83. The first 2 months
That's still
was
really
where it killed
close
you.
to that last,
Really killed you.
Yeah.
I would like to answer first on play clock, too. I'm going to make the decision today. Because my last question for you, I have a strong opinion on, and I'm very Mick and I were discussing this prior to that we were trying to predict as to what your opinion is, and I hope you have the different opinion of me because I have strong opinions.
You ready?
I know that surprised me. I am.
You bring your dog to the baseball park on Bring Your Dog to the Park night.
Park in the park. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. A foul ball comes, and while you're sitting on your phone goofing off because it's like in between innings or something, your dog gets hit by a baseball and ends up unfortunately passing away. Whose fault is that?
What are we doing?
I ask this because
I understand your team lost tonight, but why are we talking about dead puppies?
Not puppies, a dog.
Doesn't matter.
And I asked this because this legit happened. That's why I'm asking.
That's a terrible, terrible, terrible tragedy that I don't even want to think about. Like, I don't know. I guess, I mean, what made you like, I don't even know in this 40 seconds to what to even say on whose fault it is. What? That's all Where did this happen?
At the Rolex 24-hour race in Daytona, one of the drivers got his dog hit by a car by one of the owners. And it's become a big fight on Twitter over whose fault it was. First of all, I don't know why you would bring a dog to a racetrack. Dogs hate fireworks and loud noises. I don't know why you would bring a dog to a racetrack. But yes, it happened, and it's been quite the Twitter battle between the driver and the owner.
Wow.
I wanted your opinion on it.
I don't know. Like, my goodness, that's awful. I don't want to talk like dead puppies. That's terrible. I don't even know. Like, John, what's the breed? Were you listening to Twisted Sister while drinking your Twisted Teas? Or Twist and Shout?
We're not going to take it anymore.
Leroy, if you could become a professional athlete for one day on a game day, what sport are you picking?
Baseball. And listen, right field.
Why?
Yep. It's the position I'm the most comfortable in. Bat me seventh, and put me in right field, and I'm your guy, man. That's the position I played the most growing up, between right field and left field, and that's what I loved playing it. I wanted to be a second baseman because Ryan Sandberg was a second baseman, but no, I was always short and stout, so I was always in the outfield. So that's what I would do. Hockey would be a close second. I would love to play hockey, but I can't skate for crap. So I went skating this weekend, by the way, Sam.
I saw a picture for Lexi's birthday, right?
Yeah, had a blast.
She's like 16, isn't she? Isn't she like 12?
She's 12. She acts like she's 25.
What do they say? Your firstborn's most like the dad, right?
Yeah, and I'm eating those words every single day. It's fantastic. I love it.
Oh, Paul. Okay. Are you gonna ask me about like dead cats now or dead babies? Like, what are you asking me about?
The NFL Pro Bowl sucks. What are you doing to fix it to get people to watch again?
You can't. There's nothing you can do. I mean, these guys don't want to go and play in another game.
They used to have it the week after the Super Bowl.
That's not going to change anything. I think you have to do it now because I think the week after the Super Bowl, it's not like you're going to get the guys who played in the Super Bowl to go play in the Pro Bowl. They don't want to. They've just gone through a long and strenuous NFL season. They want to do literally anything but play in another, even if it's flag football. I think the way that they're doing it is honestly the best way. But I think just in today's age, the Pro Bowl is dead. And I really think it's interesting. And see, I don't think this could happen either. Just let them ball out Ray Lewis style. I don't know. I don't think it can be saved.
I wouldn't mind seeing a skills competition like they used to do in the old days.
Well, they do. Like they've been doing some different games with it. Like they did like a catch contest. Who could make the most creative catch? And they had judges and so on. And I think I kind of agree with Paul. Like, I just think it's dead. Because I just don't think they don't want to get hurt. Like, if Justin Fields went and tore his ACL.
Oh, no.
I mean, Justin Fields might not be the best example. But if DJ Moore.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's a little bit fairer.
A little bit. Leroy, there was a big argument happening in Grayson County social media last week.
Okay.
And it was one of those where you typed out, you know, when you do this, you type out your comment and you're like,
yeah, delete.
Yes.
I had one.
Oh man, what did I just do? I just deleted a bunch of your points accidentally, Leroy. Let me.
You're such a
I did not mean to do that.
I had one of those. I had one of those this morning because we got into there was a guy that posted on our anonymous site about how horrible our basketball team was.
Nice. It was around cursive writing.
Oh, I just had this discussion at work today. Go ahead.
Great. Should students still learn cursive?
Do they still learn cursive? No. Should they?
Yes. No, they absolutely do. They absolutely do still learn it. I learned it. And and on this post, it was everyone still learning how to do it. All their kids were learning. Should they? Yes or no?
Yes. And I'll tell you why kids should still learn cursive. Because I still think it's important to have stuff that doesn't rely completely on technology. This is going to be a horrible caveat, but in Russian, they absolutely. I told you it was going to be a horrible caveat. In Russian, when you write anything, it's written in cursive. They don't write anything in print. But yes, I mean, we need signatures. We need to be able to. I write all my certificates for player of the game, and I write in cursive, and everyone's all shocked by it. But cursive is important. It needs to be learned. It's good to work on that. It's good to work on your penmanship. I'm yelling at a cloud, but I'm full support of learning cursive.
I could not disagree more. I think it is a ginormous waste of time.
You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous.
In all seriousness,
why don't you like it?
I just don't understand the point. Like a signature. Okay, look, and Mick and I were talking about this before. I don't know why Mick is putting this. Like, there's my signature.
Yeah, that's
like
horrible.
It's literally just scribbles.
Learn to write.
What the heck's the point?
You look like an 8-year-old. You look like an 8-year-old. Learn to write.
Okay. Like, but in all seriousness, like, I just, if anything else, Daniel,
legit though. You write like an 8-year-old. Why don't you learn how to write?
Why does it matter?
Because you might not have tech with you.
But do you ever go a moment where you don't have technology with you? Like, in all seriousness, I think that we could better use.
If China hacks and shuts down the American system, we're
screwed.
Y'all are so stupid. I'm telling you, y'all are dumb.
I am not.
You write like an 8-year-old.
Well, I mean, that's just signing my name.
My daughter might have better penmanship than you.
No, I'm not. But I mean, like, that's not my print. That's me writing. My stuff down. I just don't
like relying on one system for everything. We need a way to communicate.
Yes, and I can print and communicate. I don't know. I'm just not a Daniel.
No, you're right. You know what? We need to learn cursive, the Pythagorean theorem, everything. I mean, right? Because you use the Pythagorean theorem every single day when you do your broadcasting, right?
Do you know what the Pythagorean theorem is?
Absolutely not.
You know what I've been considering doing is maybe if at one point we take a time off of Leroy's logos. So I've been playing on my ALEXA. I have to be quiet because she's behind there. Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Yes.
God,
No,
I feel like such an idiot sometimes.
No,
I really like here. Let's just pull up like an "Are you smarter than a fifth grader?" question. Let's see if you can get it. Because I've been thinking about it to where, because there's sometimes where it'll be like,
I'm so
oh my
crabby
goodness,
tonight, Sam.
I don't know the answer. Okay, here we go. 103. Are you smarter than a fifth grader questions? Okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay.
Give me one.
On a periodic table, what element is represented by the letter N? That's easy.
Of course, you picked my least favorite subject in the world. An N. Well,
How about our comment section here?
The boys got it. Nice.
Look, even Paul says, come on.
How many inches? Iron is Fe, right? Right, guys?
Yes.
Iron's
yes.
Fe.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Gold is Au. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
How many inches are in a foot?
36.
No.
No, 12.
Yeah,
12.
You're right.
36
12.
in the yardstick. Yeah.
What's the longest river in the U.S.?
Mississippi.
Nope. Missouri.
It's a stupid game.
Okay, we got to get you on. Who painted the Mona Lisa?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Actually, that's a not a bad way to. Who's on the $5 bill? This I always struggle with.
Lincoln.
Okay, I can never remember who's on each bill. And then I always love this too that they ask on KSR sometimes.
Dan, what state's right below Iowa? Go away.
How far back on vice presidents can you name?
Oh, vice presidents?
Yes. Okay. Let me pull up the list here.
I can do presidents pretty far. I can do
no. Let's see. No, see that's easier. Let's see how far back in vice presidents you can go. Okay.
Okay.
So who's the current vice president?
Kamala Harris.
Okay. Who was before that?
Joe Biden.
Wrong. Who was before Kamala Harris?
Oh, no, Pence.
Yep. I'll give you.
Then
there's
Biden.
your mulligan. There's your one mulligan. Okay. Biden. Okay.
Then Biden. Okay.
Okay.
Then before Obama was Bush, and he had Cheney.
Yep.
Okay. Then before Bush was Clinton. Clinton had Gore.
You know he invented the internet, right?
Shut up. And before Clinton was,
and also I didn't realize you had Man Bear Pig in your backyard a couple of weeks ago.
I did.
Man Bear Pig. I tried to find a picture, but it wouldn't post in your comments, and I wasn't sure if anyone would realize that. Okay, who's before Gore?
Before Gore, let's see. Before Clinton was the other Bush.
And this is where I would have run out. Who is HW? I'll tell you that.
Yeah, who was Bush's VP? Oh, Dan Quayle.
There you go. Okay, who was before Dan Quayle?
Before
Let's
Bush,
see how far back you can go.
Before Bush would have been Reagan. Reagan had Bush.
There you go. Okay.
Before Reagan was Carter. And Carter had, oh my goodness.
He just died not too long ago.
Did he?
Yep.
Yeah, Dan. It is Dan. You got it. It is Missouri.
Your wife would be upset if you missed this one.
It's because he's from Minnesota.
And if I tell you this is going to be one you're going to kick yourself.
Yeah.
You out?
Yeah, I'm out.
Walter Mondale.
Well, yeah, it's because Mondale ran against Bush and got his absolute butt kicked.
But
All right, so I went back to the 80s.
Yeah, and it's just hilarious as to how we can you get who was Gerald Ford's VP?
Was he Kissinger?
Rockefeller.
And
I just find it very interesting on just how it's like I loved when I take these Are You Smarter, because it's like questions like the inches in a foot, where it's like, wait a second. What? Like, and it's just like your brain doesn't think about those things anymore. And I love just those, like, what is it again?
Yeah.
What planet has the rings?
Saturn.
Okay. And some of these I'm looking at are hard. Like some of these, there's who wrote Common Sense?
Thomas Paine.
There you go. Good job. Let's get you one. Like this. If you need 1/2 cup of flour and you only have a quarter measuring cup. Yeah.
Oh.
How many degrees are in a triangle?
Yeah, triangle?
That's your last one. Yes. I agree with what Daniel says here too.
90?
180. When I say the rings, everybody knows what we're talking about. Saturn. I know Uranus does technically have rings.
Uranus is the only planet that doesn't sit upright. Uranus sits sideways, I think.
Does it? I don't think mine does.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Do we need other Twisted Tea, Leroy? To Miracle. This is the conversation he'd be wanting us to have, though. If we're being honest, he'd be wanting us to talk about Uranus and so. There you go. That's a good play clock question, Leroy. Is Pluto a planet? Or is it a dog?
I will, yes. Yes. Piss off, yes.
It's a dog. And did the dog die at the Daytona? Is that who died? Was it Pluto or is it Goofy?
Oh, his name was Lucky.
He wasn't very lucky now, was he?
And Twitter, of course, being Twitter, made sure that the comment section was absolutely gold. You got half the people that are like, oh, he's at fault. And half the people that are like, you dumb dog. People are horrible.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
I'm telling you. You ready for drivers?
We've gone off the rails. Okay.
That's why I asked if you're ready for drivers.
Not really, but
I don't really care.
Daniel makes a good point, though, Leroy.
What?
Goofy is a dog and can talk. Pluto walks on all fours and
yeah.
can't. And why can Mickey talk as a mouse? 3.
Huh.
Is this guy on the sex offenders list? Did you just is this like a picture that just some dad takes?
This is what he looks like now.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Give me a.
Is he laying in bed?
No, he's got a weird backdrop behind him. He's standing.
It looks like he's laying in bed taking a selfie.
The whole picture is him. The whole picture is him in front of a trophy. But I couldn't show you the trophy, otherwise you would have gotten it.
NASCAR. He looks familiar, which says NASCAR to me.
Okay. Final answer?
Yeah.
Yes, that's Ernie Irvan. Drove the 28.
Bless you?
Yeah. Huh?
Who?
Ernie Irvan.
Okay. Never.
Paul, help out, please.
I've never heard that name before in my life.
He's a 90s driver.
Okay, let me here 1 second. Let me go back to my comments really quick.
He drove the 28 Havoline car.
Yeah, he does wear those white New Balances.
White New Balances.
Okay. I've gone back full screen, so you could just go to 2, just so you can click left.
All right. Let me see. Oh, hold on. It's being stupid. Give me a
Oh,
second.
now it means I got to close.
I know it's being stupid. Hold on. I might have to do it for all three of them.
This podcast has gone off the rails tonight.
That's fine. We fully accept it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know this guy's a NASCAR because he's wearing a Hooters hat.
Are you sure? Did I not just throw that in there? Did
You
IndyCar ever
probably
have
did.
Hooters?
No.
Was there ever a Hooters IndyCar? I need to look. Hold on. Let me see if there's a.
It's NASCAR, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Jeff Bodine.
Okay. I at least know that name.
There was a Hooters IndyCar.
GEOFF, right?
Yes. There was a Hooters.
Not today, though, Daniel.
That's true.
Okay.
And actually, if you've been following this show for a while, I haven't done that. I haven't had one of each.
At first, you did.
Yep, and I stopped doing that.
Puma. He looks semi-familiar.
Yeah, I bet he does. He's been in the news quite a bit lately.
Oh, well, racing news doesn't come across my Indy. Final
answer?
Yep.
Yes, and actually, that's Joseph Newgarden, who won the Indy 500 last year, but also won the Rolex 24. He was part of the team that won the Rolex 24-hour race that wrapped up this Sunday. So that's, good job. 3 for 3.
Daniel's in a mood tonight, Leroy. Did you do something?
I know he's been on it, man.
Did you do something to upset him, or is he just upset about his Ravens?
I don't know why. Who Pistons Cheerios today, but he has not been a happy
language. Camper. That's one of the words you're not allowed to say on the radio.
Is it?
Actually no? You can say piss. That's one you're allowed to say.
Oh yeah. So did you know that you're not allowed to say the word Super Bowl on the radio?
Technically,
is that a thing?
I mean,
we had a big discussion about it here at work, and technically this show is from the Pressbox, so I can ask this.
I mean, I think it's like frowned upon because the NFL, but my philosophy is it's like, do you think the NFL is listening to Taylor
FCC don't care about Taylorville, I promise you.
No, they don't give a crap. And that's kind of what it is. I mean, my boss, hell, he just talks. I mean, he talks about it. He says Super Bowl more than like
the NFL championship, Dan.
The big game.
The big game. Yes, sorry, the big game.
The big game.
Yeah, the big game is acceptable.
I'm just like,
nobody calls it that.
Everybody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah,
they know you're talking about Super Bowl. Did you have an off my chest or what?
We're good. We're already at like an hour and 18 minutes in. My wife got bad gas in her car. My wife got bad gas in her car.
See, that's happened a couple of times locally here in the last
It was like this much. They took a sample of it, and it was like this much water and like this much gasoline. And it ended up becoming like this whole thing where they did. I mean, it was a $750 bill, but the gas station did take care of paying it, which is really, really good because I couldn't afford $750. But yeah, like it ended up becoming like this whole ordeal. There's like 6 cars.
Paul, how many twisted teas have you put? Christy!
Help, please. Please help.
Christy, come watch the show.
But yeah,
somebody robbed our Taco Bell yesterday.
That's funny.
And I love the comments. Maybe they just wanted a taco.
Just give me the taco and no one gets hurt.
They did like 5 a.m. And apparently the girl walked in to open up the Taco Bell, and the guys were in there.
Can I help you? No, go away.
Do you want a Crunchwrap Supreme?
But yeah, man, like it ended up becoming like this whole ordeal. Like 6 cars are in the shop right now because of it.
Yeah, that's happened here like twice. There was one day it happened. And it was really big because everyone was calling us. Like, what do you like? What do you like? Like, I understand you're wanting us to like let the public know, but it's also like people go, yeah, like what?
Well, I joked.
Like,
I was like, Leroy Clanola here from WTIM. I understand you're selling bad gas. You have any statement you'd like to make about that?
well, so
They're a
we have a
sponsor. They literally sponsor our show.
really. We have a
Yes.
guy that has been messaging us because his car
Oh,
has
Baja
been.
Blast is good.
It is good. His car has been like, I guess his cable is bad, but because of it, it keeps like he has like USB to where you can play music off of. And apparently it keeps having our station pop in at times. And he keeps like, why do you fix this? And I've never responded to his message because I'm like, what do you like? I'm not a car, like, what do you want me to do? And he always messages us at like 11 o'clock on a Saturday night.
Right.
Like, do you honestly think, like, we had somebody who called us the other night at like 11:30 at night. I'm like, do you honestly think that I'm going to be like, no, our longest show's over an hour and a half, Dan. We still got to do our picks too, but luckily there's only one pick for each of us this week. How about we just do that and get it, since we're already off?
Yeah, we've already thrown this whole show off the rails anyway.
Leroy, we only get 1 point opportunity for each other today.
I know. How sad is that, man?
Unless we want to pick the Pro Bowl.
We're reaching the end. No.
Leroy, Grayson County on Friday travels to Morgantown, Kentucky to take on the Butler County Bears.
Ooh.
In boys basketball, there is not a place in the world that I love going more than Morgantown, Kentucky. Can't wait.
Gosh,
Grayson County
sarcasm dripping on that.
Grayson County 10-8, Butler County 12-6. Leroy, who you got?
I'll be nice and go with Butler County.
That's the right pick. I gotta be quiet in saying that because people don't want them here.
I got you.
They're good.
Wow.
We literally got 3 minutes left.
Oh, we got like 5 minutes left. What movie are you watching?
Not even that. Not even that. Leroy, what's our Taylorville game of the week?
Hold on. Mount Vernon girls basketball takes on Taylorville on Saturday. Mount Vernon comes into the game 22-5. Taylorville comes into the game 21-6.
Donde.
Taylorville.
Have I picked this game before this year?
No, we've never played. We haven't played them.
Did you play them in football?
Yes. And Mount Vernon killed us.
Oh, is that the new one, Paul? Is that the newest one?
They CGI his face, right, to make him look younger?
Yeah. How is it, Paul? Because honestly, no one I've read that has watched it, I actually trust their opinion. I'm genuinely curious. How is it? I have not seen it. I think it's on like Disney Plus or something now. Because I might watch it. I'll pick Taylorville. Because I'm not a hater like you. Is that the right pick?
I don't know.
It's good. Okay, that's good to know, Paul. Because I like those movies. You don't know?
I don't. Taylorville is 55th in the state. Mount Vernon is 48th in the state. Hey,
Christy, we were just talking about you.
Where have you been?
You just missed. You were just a topic on the show about 5 minutes ago.
We just talked about the car,
and we were talking about planets as well.
Uranus. I like exploring.
We weren't talking. Have a good night, Leroy. Christy, that's a naughty word.
Oh gosh. Oh. She says her car runs like a Butte though, but she got ticked because they didn't refill her gas tank.
She's probably better off going to get the Crunchwrap Supreme and throw it in there instead.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Y'all, y'all don't know what you mean to us. We appreciate all of you hanging out with us and dealing with our shenanigans. And
if we're being honest, though, we dedicated this show at the beginning to Miracle, and this is exactly. Oh, hey, we're even drinking the same kind. Cheers. This is exactly the way Hito wanted this show to go, off the rails.
For you, Miracle. This one's for you, bud.
We'll see you all next week. Super Bowl preview, talking Chiefs and Niners. And who knows what else we might talk about? I don't know. I really don't know, because this will be Leroy's not home right now, John.
I am not.
He might be filling someone's tank in that office, though. Oh, Christy! Ew!
Oh,
have a good night.
We went far from PG a long time ago, my friend.
Have a good night, Leroy.
Yeah, you too, bud.